It's the early morning hours in the small waterfront town of Pensacola, Florida. After a night of heavy partying, Ryan Holle had agreed to let roommate Billy Allen borrow his car.
Had you ever said no when he asked to borrow your car?
No, ma'am.
You were good buddies?
Yes, ma'am.
Ryan admits he had overheard Billy and others talk about burglarizing the home of Jessica Snyder, Billy's girlfriend. But in my prison interview with Ryan, he insists he never thought the plan was real.
I didn't take it serious at all.
At the time?
When they had said that they were going to go do that, I was like, I don't really...
You didn't think this would really happen?
No, ma'am. I've never been involved with anything like that in my whole life.
Ryan also overheard the conspirators' plan to knock out Jessica if she happened to be home during the heist. Something else Ryan's family says he didn't believe.
She was dating the guy that was borrowing the car. Why would he think they would do anything to her? So he didn't think anything of it.
But the plan was real, very real. While Ryan laid in bed trying to shake off a hangover and get some sleep, Billy is behind the wheel of Ryan's car, on his way to Jessica's 1.5 miles away, to steal her mother's safe containing money and jewelry. 3 accomplices were in on the heist: Donnie Williams, Charles Miller, and Jermon Thomas, veritable strangers to Ryan. When the crew first arrives at Jessica's home, the plan is put on pause. There's a snag.
When they got there, though, her younger sister was there. So they were waiting for the sister to leave to go to school.
While they're waiting, Billy's cell phone rings. It's Ryan.
When I called, I was, where's my car? What are you guys doing?
And what does he say to you?
That they were at Jessica Snyder's house. And that they were waiting for the sister to leave.
At that point, did you realize this was a reality?
No, ma'am.
You still didn't?
Still didn't.
So what did you say to him?
I remember that he said he had to go, and he ended up hanging up the phone.
Ryan falls back asleep. Meanwhile, at Jessica's house, her little sister has finally left for school. The heist is back in motion. Billy waits in the car while the other 3 bust their way into Jessica's home and head for the safe in a back bedroom. Jessica is there, and she's terrified.
Apparently she was screaming because they had broken into the house.
While the others are scrambling to get the safe and looking for other items to steal, Charles Miller remembers that plan to knock out Jessica if she got in the way. That plan, evil as it was, would evolve into something seemingly psychotic.
Charles Miller removed a shotgun that was on the wall in the house.
That was her father's.
To shut her up, he started hitting her. And then he just kind of snapped and just kept pounding and pounding and pounding on her face and her head with the shotgun.
The butt even broke off of the rifle. He was hitting her so hard.
When the others saw Jessica's crushed skull and lifeless body, Charles Miller was standing next to her, bloody shotgun in hand, an eerie smile on his face. He tossed the gun in the kitchen sink. But now the others are panicked and in a rush to get the safe into Ryan's car. Once it's lifted into the back seat, the burglars race back to Ryan's house, plowing through a fence to get to the backyard.
I hear a loud bang, basically. And when I get up to look to see what it is, my car is basically sitting in my backyard. I seen them jumping out of the vehicle, and they basically took a safe out of the back seat and put it on the ground.
What was your reaction to that?
Oh my God. I said, what's going on? What are you doing?
The crew uses every tool they can find to try to bust open the safe.
Charles Miller, he has blood on his clothes. And I was like, I don't want no part of this. You guys need to leave. And he said, shut up.
But it's then that Ryan learns of the vicious beating endured by his friend, Jessica Snyder.
The one person who actually did say something to me that made me realize that something had happened to Jessica was when Donnie said 1 minute, it's like I could see her head there, and then the next minute I couldn't.
What did you say?
And he had started crying.
Before Ryan had even a minute to absorb the horrific murder, police showed up at his house. All the banging trying to get the safe cracked piqued the interest of a suspicious neighbor who had called the cops. Now the long arm of the law had its reach on everyone.
When they had first came into the residence, they basically told everybody to freeze. And what they did was they put everybody in handcuffs and they had us sitting in the dining room.
It didn't take them very long, did it?
No, ma'am. Absolutely not.
Ryan is confident he's not a guilty party in this misguided turned murderous heist. He cooperates with the police.
I wasn't involved at all, and I didn't have any part of what they did to her.
I was never being deceptive or anything like that. I was really just trying to do the right thing by telling them what had happened that night.
But Ryan's cooperation would come back to haunt him. Coming up,
I was floored. How could I get in trouble for something that I was never at the scene of the crime?
a little known and controversial law puts Ryan away for life.
If there was no car, there was no crime. No crime, no murder.